Hello students, in this lecture we are going to start new course which is optimization technique. So for optimization technique, syllabus for optimization technique is first chapter is network model. In this chapter we will see CPM and PERT. What is CPM? CPM is critical path method and PERT is program evaluation and review technique. Then we'll see network representation, critical path computation, construction of time schedule, linear programming formation, and then linear programming formation of CPM and PERT calculation. Okay, and then next chapter which is decision analysis and games, that is game theory. So under that we'll see decision under uncertainty, game theory, some basic terminologies, optimal solution of two-person zero-sum games, and solution of mixed strategies, and then we will see linear programming solution of games. And in next chapter, which is third, which is replacement and maintenance model, in this chapter we will see introduction, types of failure, replacement of items whose efficiency deteriorates with time, and next fourth chapter is sequencing problem. In that we will see notation, terminologies, assumptions, processing n jobs through 2 machines, processing n jobs through 3 machines, and last chapter is classical optimization theory. In that we will see unconstrained problem, necessary and sufficient conditions. Next we will see Newton-Raphson's method, constraint problem, and equality constraint. So the textbook for this course optimization technique is Hamdi Taha. Okay, now we'll start the chapter. Now we'll take chapter sequencing problems. So what is sequencing problem? Sequencing problem is the problem of finding an optimal sequence of completing certain number of jobs so as to minimize total elapsed time between completing of first job and last job is the sequencing problem. So for notations for this sequencing problem is Tij represent processing time or time required for job I on machine J. Okay, so I to J is the time which is the Tij. Next T is called total elapsed time for processing all jobs. So this includes idle time of if any. Now Iij is the idle time on machine J from the end of job I-1 to start of job I. Next the terminology is the number of machines refer to number of service faculty through which a job must pass before it is assumed to be completed. For example, a book is to be published has process through printing, binding, etc. In this example, book constitute job and different processes constitute number of machines. So this is the terminology. Now we will see some definition. So processing time. What is meant by processing time? This is the time required by job on each machine called as processing time. Next, what is processing order? This refers to order or called sequence in which machines are required for completing this job. This is the processing order. Now what is idle time on machine? So idle time means what? So how much time machine is stopped? That's the idle time. So this is the time during which machine does not have a job to process. That is idle time for the end of job I-1 to the start of job I. So time between these two jobs. So stop time between these two jobs called idle time on that machine. Now next we will see total elapsed time. So what is meant by total elapsed time? So this is the time interval between first job and completing last job, including of idle time if any, in particular order by given set of machines. So this is the called total elapsed time. So time between completing first and last job which includes idle time called as total elapsed time. Now next we will see no passing rule. So what is meant by no passing rule? This refers to the rule of maintaining the order in which jobs are to be processed. Means first to maintain the order in which jobs are to be processed on the given machines. If n jobs are to be processed on two machines M1 and M2 in order M1 M2, then each job should go first on M1 and then it go through M2. This is no passing rule. Okay. Now let's see the processing n jobs through two machines. So what is the process? First, let there be n jobs, each of which are to be processed through two machines M1 and M2 in order M1 M2. That is, each machine has to pass through the same sequence of operations. That is, first it operates on M1, then which goes through machine M2. That is, a job is assigned on machine M1 first. After it has been completed process on machine M1, then it is assigned to machine M2. So this is no passing rule. If the machine M2 is not free at moment for processing some job, then job has to be wait in waiting line for this turn on machine M2. That is, passing is not allowed. Therefore, machine M1 will remain busy in processing all jobs are one by one, while machine M2 may remain idle time for the second machine. This can be achieved only by determining sequence of n jobs which are to be processed on two machines M1 and M2. Now we will see the algorithm to find out total elapsed time for processing n jobs through two machines. So let's see the algorithm. So this is the algorithm to find out the total elapsed time. So first, list the jobs along with their processing time on each machines in table as shown below. So we have always given this type of table. So here total there are n jobs. Okay. So this is the time for machine M1 and this is the time for machine M2. Okay. So we have given this data. Now step second is examine the columns for processing times on machine M1 and M2. So for each, so visualize this value and choose the shortest processing time among this row. Okay, find shortest processing time in each column. Find out minimum of Ti1 and Ti2. So among that find out minimum. Also among that find out minimum and so on. So among this data find out the minimum time for all I. Next step, if the shortest processing time is on machine M1, means what? If shortest machine time is on machine M1, means T11, T21, T31 up to on Tn1, then what we will do? So then schedule the job as early as possible without moving jobs that are already scheduled. That is, place this machine M1, this job starting. So place jobs in first available position in the sequence. That is, we will make the sequence for n jobs, and if here first after choosing the shortest distance, so which is on machine M1, then we will place jobs in first available position in the sequence. If the process time is on machine M2, so if processing time shortest distance is on machine M2, then what will we do here? Then schedule the job as early as possible without moving any jobs already scheduled. That is, place jobs in the last available position in the sequence. When it is minimum on second machine, then we place it is last. Okay. Next condition B, if there is the tie in selecting the minimum of all processing time, then following three situation arises. So which situation arises? Now let's see. First is, if minimum among all processing time is same for machine, then what happen? That is, minimum among all processing time is same for all machine, then minimum of Ti1 and Ti2 is equal to Tk1 is equal to Tr2. Means what? So this Tk1 is for machine M1 and this Tr2 is for machine M2. In this case, we place Tk first job on the, that is, we place kth job at the starting because this is for machine M1 and this is for M2. So we place rth job last. Okay, so we process kth job first and rth job last. And since second condition, if tie for minimum occurs among processing time Tij on machine M1 only, then selecting the job correspondingly to the smallest job subscribed first. Means what? If if tie among same machine, then we'll go through by using sequence, or the smallest job subscribed first. Means what? If there is tie, then we'll go through the sequence. Third condition is if the tie for minimum occurs among processing time Ti2 on machine M2, then select the job corresponding to largest job subscribed first. Okay, then select the job corresponding to largest job subscribed first. Next, fourth step, remove assigned job from table. If the table is empty, then stop and go to step 5, otherwise go to step 2. Means what? If table is not empty, then go to step 2nd. If table is empty, then stop the process and go to fifth step. Now what is fifth step is calculate idle time for machines M1 and M2. So this is calculate idle time, IDLE, idle time for machine M1 and M2. So first is idle time for machine M1 is calculated by using this formula, is equal to total elapsed time minus time when last job in sequence finished on M1. This is called idle time for machine M1. So what is idle time for machine M2? So we have the formula, time at which first job in sequence finished on M1 plus summation I from 1 to n, time when jth job in sequence start on machine M2 minus time when j minus 1th job in sequence finish on machine M2, called as idle time for machine M2. And then the sixth step is the total elapsed time to process all jobs through two machines is given by total elapsed time is equal to time when nth job in sequence finish on M2 is equal to summation I from 1 to n mi2 plus summation j from 1 to n I2. So this is the ideal time. So here mi2 is time required for processing ith job on machine M2, and I2 is time for which machine M2 remain idle after processing I minus 1th job and before starting work ith job. Okay. Now we'll see the example based on processing of n machine through n jobs through two machines. So we'll see example based on this process. See the example. So here in this example, a machine operator has performed two operations which are turning and threading operations. So on machine M1 operation is turning and on machine M2 operation is threading. On a number of different jobs, the time required to perform these operations in minimum for each job is known. Determine the order in which job should be processed in order to minimize the total time required to turn all the jobs. So here job, so there are 6 jobs, and for machine M1 which is turning time, so we have given turning time for machine M1. This is the turning time and this is the threading time for machine M2. So find out total processing time and idle time for turning and threading operations. So we'll solve this example. First we will make the sequence which is optimal sequence. Okay, see the solution. So this is our given chart. Okay, so first perform, see the columns. So here what is the minimum value of this column, this chart? So in this chart, what is the minimum value? So here 1 is the minimum value and this is on job second. Okay, so the smallest value is threading. So first is for turning and second is for threading. So this is time for turning and this is for threading. So this is turning first machine and threading is second machine. Okay, So here smallest value is threading time, because here 1 is smallest value of 1 minute. This is 1 minute, right? For which job? So which is for 6th job. Okay. So thus we schedule job 6 last, because if if minimum will occur in first machine, then we place it as a first. But if the minimum time is of second machine, then we place 6 as a last. Okay. So thus we schedule job 6 last for turning as shown below. So we write this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 places. Okay. So make this as chart. So we place 6 in this, we place 6 as a last. So delete this last column. Okay. So let's see remaining chart. So this is the remaining chart, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So we delete 6th. So among that, let's see which one is the minimum value. So among that, here 3, 8 is the minimum is 3. So here is minimum 10, 5 and 9 is minimum 5. So here 2. So among this chart, we get 2 is the minimum value, and this is for turning, means what? Which is on machine M1. So the smallest value is turning of time 2 minutes. So this is the minimum. Okay. So in this chart we get 2 is minimum, which is on machine M1. Okay. So we place, so 2 value is of which job? Which is of 4th job. So we schedule this 4th job as a first. Okay. Because this is minimum, which is for machine M1. So we will place it for first. If machine M1, then we will place for first. If the value is minimum for second, then we will place for last. Okay. So the smallest value is turning. Therefore, turning time of 2 minutes for job 4. Thus, we schedule job 4 first as shown below. So we'll write here. So write this same chart here and place 4 first. Okay. And here 6 is last. So the reduced set of processing time becomes. So we delete 4th column. So reduced chart is becomes. So here we don't see the 4th job, right? So we delete 4th. Now again see in this chart which one is minimum. In this chart which value will be which minimum. So 3, and here is again 3. So this is the tie among minimum values, right? So this is for first machine and this is for second machine. Okay. So there are 2 equal minimum values for turning time of 3 minutes for job 1 and threading time for of 3 minutes for job 5, right? Here first job and first machine has value 3, and here 5th job and second machine has value 3. Okay. So according to Johnson's rule, so this value is placed first, right? So we'll place job 1 next to job 4, because here minimum value is 3. So 3 on first machine. So we'll place after 4, and we place this value. So this is minimum for second machine. So we place for last, means what? It is before for 6th job. So there are 2 equal minimum values, turning time of 3 minutes for job 1 and threading time of 3 minutes for job 5. According to Johnson's rule, job 1 is scheduled next to job 4, means what? For starting, and we schedule job 5 which is last to which is last, means what? Before the job 6. Okay. 5 before to job 6. We write this as, so write this table as it is and write down here 4 next 1, because here we have seen there 3 is minimum value and this is for job this is for machine M1. So we place this as start, and this value we place this as for last, means what? Before 6 value, and we place here which is after 4. We get 4 1 here empty places, and here 5 6. So we delete first and 5th column. Okay. We delete first and 5th column. Then we get the reduced table as, so job. So this is second and third job, and this is machine M1, machine M2. So which in this table we get 5 is the minimum. Okay. 5 is minimum, and 5 is for machine M1. Okay, so we place the smallest value is 5 for job 3. So we get the optimal solution. Means what? We place 5 next to value 1, because we place if minimum value is in M1, then we place this value this job as a starting. Okay, means what? We place this as next to 1. So we get here 4 1 3 and next. So this is 4. This is fifth 5 value is for machine M1 for third job. Okay, we get sequence 4 1 3 and here last 5 and 6. So what it remains? So only we get we remains second job. Okay, so we get finally 4 1 3 and write down 2 directly, because it gives only one place. So 2 5 and 6. Therefore job, what we get here? So this is job and this is time for time for machine M1 and M2. Okay, so here so this is the given problem 1 2 3 4 5 6. So time for machine M1, this is time for machine M2, and this is the optimal sequence, which is 4 1 3 2 5 6 is the optimal sequence. Okay, now we'll see the table. So in this table, first write down the job, and this is the optimal sequence we got here. 4 1 3 2 5 6 is the optimal sequence, right? So write down this sequence 4 1 3 2 5 6, this optimal sequence, and write down turning time in. Okay, so let's see the this table. We'll solve this table. Now let's see the solution. So this is the optimal sequence we got, which is 4 1 3 2 5 6, and this is our first chart which is given. So job 1 2 3 4 5 6, and this is the time elapsed on machine M1, right? And this is time elapsed on machine M2. So machine M1 is turning operation, machine M2 is threading operation. Okay, so first write down the job for given optimal sequence. Okay, so write down 4 1 3 2 5 0. Now make the chart which is turning operation. So in turning operation, so there is time in and time out. Also in threading operation, there is time in and time out. And for final last ideal time for threading operation. Now here, so for any operation, turning operation, so initial time is always 0, because initially we got 0 time. Okay, so for fourth job, so what is fourth job? For fourth job, what is in time? First time for machine M1, which is 2. So time out will be 2, right? Here 0, this 0 plus time out is, so here initial time is 0, and what is time out? Because here for machine M1 there should be time for 2 minutes, and after 2 minutes it goes to machine M2. Okay, so here its time out is 0 plus, so this is in time. Okay, 0 plus 2, which is 2. So time in will be 2. Okay, so what is this is 0 plus 2 is so 2 minutes is time for machine M1. So threading operation for machine M2, after 2 minutes it goes to second machine. Okay, so what is its timeout for second machine? So here it requires 6 minutes for second machine. Okay, so here we get 2 plus, so these 2 plus again we require 6 minutes. Okay, so 2 plus 6, which is equal to total 8 machine for threading operation. Okay, next, so how much here ideal time for threading operation? So here threading operation, how much time machine stop? Here 0 to 2 minutes. Okay, so 2 minus 0 is 2. So there should be it stops for 2 minutes. So ideal time for threading machine is 2 minutes. Now again, so we take this value as a in, because after 2 minutes it goes to second machine. Okay, so after 2 minutes we get, so in time for this. So what? So for first job, what is the time required for machine M1, which is 3. So for first job we get here for machine M1 requires 3 minutes. So here 2 plus 3, which is equal to 5. Okay, and here, so here time timeout for this machine. So here it gets 5 minutes for first machine, and here for second machine operation, so it gets 8 minutes. So after completing second job, then we accept first job. Okay, so here they requires 8 minutes and it requires 5 minutes. So which value will be accepted? Because here after completing second job, then it accept first. Okay, so first second job require so first here it requires 8 minutes and it requires 5 minutes. So we take here time in is 8, because after completing this job, then it accept first, right? So we take here 8. Now so this is time in, and here this is for first job. Okay, so here it requires 8 minutes, so 8 plus, so for second job it requires 8 minutes, so 8 plus 8, which is equal to 16. Okay, so how much time it stops here? Total so distance difference between these two times is the ideal time. So we get 8 minus 8, which is equal to 0 time. Now again, so how much time it gets here? So we have time out of first job is the time in of next job. Okay, so what is the time out first job? Which is 5. So which is time in for next job? So 5. So for third machine, so third machine is for machine M1, it requires 5 minutes. So here 5 plus it gets third machine, we get 5 plus 5, which is equal to 10. Okay, so and here 10, what is the maximum between this 10 and 16? So which is 16, because second machine requires 16 minutes, and machine here machine M1 requires, here it requires 10 minutes, but after completing second machine, then it accept first. Okay, so machine M1 will be here waiting, so we take here 16 minutes. Now here 16 plus for so this is for third job. So third job out here second machine time is 9, so 16 plus 9, which is equal to 25. So difference between these two is 16 minus 16 is again 0. Next, so here time out of first machine is the time in of second machine. So here 10. Now 10 plus second job and first machine having time 12 minutes. So which is equal to 22. And here maximum of these two. What is maximum of these two? Which is 25. Because after completing second job, then it accept first job. Okay, so we place here time 25. Now 25 plus, so this is second job, so it requires 10 minutes. So 25 plus 10, which is equal to 35. So what is difference here? 25 minus 25 is equal to 0. Next, so time out of first job is the time in of next job. Okay, so 22 here. Now here fifth job, so time in is so first machine requires 9 minutes. So here 22 plus 9, which is equal to, addition is 31, and here, and so let's see what is the maximum between these two values. So maximum between these two values is 35. Okay, now here 35 plus, so for fifth job here M2 requires 3 minutes. So 35 plus 3, which is equal to 38 minutes. So difference between these two, 35 minus 35, which is again 0. Okay, next, time out of a previous job is the time in of next job, which is 31 again. So 31 plus, so here for sixth job, first M1 machine having 11 minutes. So 31 plus 11 is equal to 42. So what is the maximum between these two? So 42 and 38. So first, so here for second machine requires 38 minutes to complete this job, and first machine requires 42 minutes to complete this job. So second machine will stop due to for completing first job. So here maximum between these two is 42. So 42 plus, so time required to complete second job for which is second machine which is on 6 job is 1 minute. So here 42 plus 1 which is equal to 43. So difference between these two is 42 minus 38 which is equal to 4 minutes. Okay, so let's see. So this is our chart. Okay, so this completes the solution. Now we have to find out the total elapsed time. So here thus minimum elapsed time is, so how much time to require to complete the given process. So here we get total minutes is 43. So total minimum elapsed time is what, 43 minutes to complete the whole job, right? Now in this chart, so from this optimal sequence we get total elapsed time is 43. So the minimum elapsed time to complete whole job is, so total how many hours it takes time. So it takes 43 minutes to complete overall job, right? So here total elapsed time is 43. Now idle time for machine M1, that is idle time for turning machine is, so 43 minus 42 which is 1 minute, and idle time for threading operation is 2 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 4 which is equal to 2 plus 4 which is equal to 6 minutes. Okay, therefore so total elapsed time is 43 minutes. So this is 43 minutes here, and idle time for turning operation is 43 minus 42 which is 1 minute, and idle time for threading operation is addition of this column, we get 6 minutes. Okay, we'll stop here. In next lecture we'll see one more example based on same method. Thank you.